Others just defy logic. Is there life after death? In Connecticut, a man visits a Civil War battlefield where he is suddenly overcome with emotion.
To this day, I don't understand what exactly happened.
Is he the reincarnation of a dead general? Jeffrey Keane is a retired firefighter. In 1990, he decided to visit the site of the famous Battle of Antietam, one of the bloodiest encounters of the Civil War, and a place where thousands died in just one day.
I was traveling down through Pennsylvania with my wife, antique hunting, and I asked my wife if it was okay if we took a little side trip over to Antietam to see the battlefield.
But what begins as a fun day out will soon turn into a nightmare.
My wife wasn't very much into history, so she remained in the car, and I walked over to where the battle had taken place at the sunken road. Gone about 50 feet when it became very hard to breathe. I started crying. I was very angry. I was very sad. If you take the saddest you've ever been and magnify that by about 1,000 times, that gets close. I was exhausted. I couldn't tell exactly what was going on. I thought I was maybe having a heart attack, but I didn't have any pain.
Overcome by a wave of violent emotions, Jeffrey then has a powerful urge to visit the gift shop.
I felt compelled to go there. I threw a magazine on the counter. I said, I want this, and it was a Civil War quarterly magazine on Antietam. To this day, I don't understand what exactly happened.
For the next 18 months, Jeffrey's life returns to normal. Until one night, when he attends a Halloween party.
It was a really nice party. They'd spent a lot of money on the decorations. They had hired a palm reader. And I sat down in front of this woman, and she took my hands, and I told her the story of what happened in Antietam.
As Jeff tells his story, the palm reader suddenly becomes uneasy.
She's sitting there shaking her head, and she dropped my hands a few times.
And then she drops a bombshell. She believes Jeffrey was at Antietam in a previous life.
She said, "You died there, but you hung around for a long time." I said, "Just let me ask you one question. Are you sure he was dead?" She said he was full of holes. That's one thing I'll never forget.
The bizarre encounter will lead Jeffrey on a journey in search of the truth.
The next day, I took my wife to work, and I remembered the magazine that I had to have. I had it for a year and a half and hadn't read it. I opened it up to the section on Antietam where I had had the experience, and my eyes skimmed down the page, and I see a photograph of a general.
As Jeffrey stares at the photo, he is stunned by what he sees.
I look over, and this picture says General John B. Gordon, and when I see the face, I tell people I know the face very well. I shave it every morning. Unless you're unfeeling, unthinking, completely drained of any type of emotion, it's going to have a bit of an effect on you, even if it's just awe and wonder.
Remarkably, Jeffrey is a double for General John B. Gordon. But as he reads on, things get even weirder.
I read in the story he had been wounded 5 times that day. He was shot through the face, and I figured he had probably been killed there.
John B. Gordon was a general of the 6th Alabama Regiment, a hero who was shot in the bloody Battle of Antietam. Could there be a link between Jeffrey and a general who had died nearly 200 years before him? Suddenly, Jeffrey makes another startling connection.
It was on my 30th birthday. At 12 midnight, I got such an horrendous pain in my jaw. It radiated down into my neck. I know what it feels like to be shot through the face. That's how bad it hurt.
Was Jeffrey's mysterious pain somehow related to General Gordon's injuries?
Gordon was 30 years old when he was shot through the face. Same age. That was 10, 15 years before I ever heard Gordon's name. It wasn't like this was worked backwards. I heard about Gordon's wounding. I went over to the hospital, made him fudge up some documents that mimicked the wound that Gordon had more than 100 years before. kind of hard to do. And I have the documents to prove the hospital visit.
Could all these remarkable similarities be explained by coincidence? Jeffrey believes there's only one answer.
I don't need any more proof that there's reincarnation because of all the things that happen to me. We never die. We're continuous. We always have been, we always will be. That's how Gordon found me at Antietam. I always say it's the other way around from what people think. I say Gordon found me, where our hearts touched at Antietam.
What an extraordinary story. Did a Civil War general who died over a century ago reincarnate, jump into Jeffrey Keene's body, and continue his life through Jeffrey's eyes? Are we all in a continual cycle of birth and rebirth, simply interchanging bodies as we go? And if so, this raises yet another question. Do we get to choose? I mean, who was I before I was who I am now, and who will I be next? Could I be you? Now that is definitely weird.